Hi everyone, in this video we're taking a look at the number one reason people fail the driving test, which is junctions observation. Many people misunderstand what this means, and many instructors and learners are scratching their heads saying, well, I don't get it, I'm looking at the junctions, I'm looking left and right, and I'm still failing on junctions observation. That's because it isn't about just looking left and right. So let's turn on and let's explain what this is all about. Just in case you don't know, I know I started some more videos, but sometimes this might be the first video people have watched of mine. So I've been a driving instructor for over 20 years, and I've trained over 1,000 people to drive, as well as many driving instructors. Just in case you wonder, who am I, what do I know about this? And I've been on about 400 driving tests sitting in the back of the car, so I've seen this happen a lot. The reason people fail on junction observation isn't because they're not looking, it's because they've been taught to drive using a method that is ineffective and doesn't allow them to take effective observation. Now this all comes down to clutch control, so I've made other videos about this which I'll link to in the description, and at the end of this one there are about 20 videos of mine on clutch control over the last 10 years or so, and there are 3 or 4 in the gas and clutch playlist. If you don't know what that is, I'll talk about it as we get driving. But simply, when you come up to a junction, imagine that drain cover on the floor. And if you see there's a bowl on the left and a drain cover, there's also a pile of dog mess where just before I was going to film this video, somebody just let the dog walk up and mess all over the grass, and then they walked off. Anyway, so imagine that drain cover is the end of the road. The way you need to approach a junction is like this. So you can clutch, roll, brake, brake off, gas, clutch, looking both ways, checking, going, maybe changing your mind, pausing, and then going. If you're not being taught that, that's why you've got a problem with junction observation, most likely. Because imagine where the road changes colour in front of me now is the end of the road. A lot of people get taught to do this. They get taught to do clutch, brake, stop, sit on the brake, lift the clutch of the brake on, and as I've seen that noise, doesn't like that at all. As I've said before many times, if you are being trained like that, change your instructor. If you are being taught to sit on the brake pedal and just sit like this and lift the clutch of the brake on, this is going to cause all kinds of problems. I've explained that in other videos, so I'm not going to get into that too deeply in this one, but let's go. And no one around, so no signal needed. There's a car appearing in the very distance, but that's fine. At the end of the road, this is how you must be emerging from junctions. I'm going to go left, so I do my middle mirror, my left mirror. I need to go left. I can do brake, clutch, leave the gear, don't rush the gear, steer, then gear. That's the same guy made. Brake off, creep, gas, clutch, look both ways, and off you go. That's how you do it. It isn't about the number of times you look left and right. That isn't why people fail. Because people say, I don't get it, why am I failing when I'm looking left and right? It's because you're not approaching in a way that allows you to take effective observation. So I'm going to go down some of these side roads and turn around and come back up and show you that from these roads. So I do my brake, clutch, no need for the gear. A lot of people rush the gear, leave the gear, wait. Now I need one, creep a little, didn't even really need it. So I'm going to check, go to reverse, keep checking. Again, observation. Because what's allowing me to do good observation here, my lack of speed, handbrake on, one, gas, clutch, not sitting on the brake and lifting the clutch, that's terrible. This junction, you can't see a thing at all. I've hardly ever been here before, I don't think I've been on this road before. So mirror signal left, clutch down, steer. Not going to press the brake, gas, clutch, creep, 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 look. And when you go, don't do this. This is what learners do. What am I doing wrong here? I can't do it now because there's a car coming. But what was I doing incorrectly there? Did you notice? Let me go down the next road and I'll show you again. Hopefully a car won't appear from behind. But if you're at test standard, you mustn't be doing that, but some people do, which is very poor. These roads are quite poor in terms of the surface and the markings. So I'm going to turn around here again, clutch, brake. I'll pull over here, do a bit of a turn, check around. It's now all about. Nope. Again, effective observation, my clutch is down, I'm braking, handbrake on, look, reverse, gas, clutch. Notice the observation I'm doing, notice how much I'm looking around, brake, handbrake on, 1, gas, clutch, not sitting on the foot brake. So this junction, I'm going to do it wrong if I can, because if something appears I can't really do this. But mirrors, signal. Okay, this is how you don't do, this is how a lot of people teach. They teach what? Clutch down, stop, brake, sit on the brake. Now, lift your clutch with the brake on. Can you see? Yeah, off you go. And they do this. What am I doing wrong here? What's wrong with this? Get on with it! Move! Gas clutch. That's why you do gas clutch, you've got to go. Right, if you're being taught, because this is something I've heard a lot from instructors and especially parents who mean well, they do mean well, but they get it wrong. A lot of people say this thing about, oh, you've got your driving test, go slow, be nice and slow, impress the examiner, just drive slowly, keep well under the speed limit. No, examiners want to see positive driving, not slow driving. Right, when you go for a driving test, now yes I know that it isn't quite as simple as just you learn then you pass, but let's imagine it is that simple just for now. You're still a learner after you pass really, but let's just say you're going for a driving test. This, as I do it now, if I can see with the sun, is how you must do it. Mirrors, signal, clutch, brake, steer, first gear falls in already, get there, brake off, gas, clutch, go, get on with it, accelerate, move, join the road. Very few things will impress an examiner more than that. Why? Because you're being positive. Can't be positive now because the bus is coming up. That's good driving, that's planning ahead. I could have probably got around, but I choose to hold back. That again would impress an examiner. What does not impress examiners is cheesy stuff. Like I've heard people saying, say things to the examiner like, oh, examiner, on the road's terrible, lots of people drive too quickly, I believe in slow driving. No, that is not what they want to hear. Positive driving is good driving, and positive driving is getting on with it once you've taken effective observation. That's why people fail on Junctions observation, not because they're not looking left to right, left, right, left, right, left, right, because they're not coming up to a junction, creeping, what we call peep and creep, then going. They're just crawling, stop, lift the clutch up with the brake on. If you are being taught that, I can't stress how bad that is. So that's what I need to do. When you get to a junction, I'll do another one here. I'll go down this road and I'll show you a different sort of version of that, because there is another way that people can fail on this, and that is the complete opposite, is that they take far too long. It's not just that they don't look or that they don't creep, but they take far too long and they don't go when they clearly could have gone. So I'd go into the road right, mirrors, signal, brake, clutch. Right, there's a car, I'll select first, brake off, creep, can I go? Yes, get on with it, check, accelerate, second, accelerate, third. And the examiner will be thinking, nice positive driving. That's what I want to see. I'm not breaking the speed limit, I'm not even close to the limit when I come out there. That's what you want to do. At the end of this road, I'll go right. Now I know this road well, but you don't have to know the roads. You can tell when you get to it that it is it's an open junction, so the view is very good. There's a car coming, so mirrors, brake, clutch, wait, no rush for the gear. Don't need to indicate. First gear, brake off, roll, gas clutch, learn assist, thanks, that's good. It's always good to teach people to thank other drivers, sort of give them a nod to say, okay, thanks for thanking me. So at the end of the road I'll go right. There's often no need to stop on this one. And that van completely wrong, that is how you don't do it. Flying up, or is anyone there? I'll stop on there, I'm going to go anyway. That is rubbish, that's where you'd fail on Junctions observation. Mirrors, signal, brake, clutch. I can see to the right is clear, that van driving not signaling either. The right's clear, left's clear, look, go. If you stop there, you're going to fail. And then where's all that going to get you? All this stuff about be slow, be safe, make out you're really slow and safe. and then pass your test and go drive as fast as you want. No, that isn't how you do it. You drive after the same way as you drive before passing. People have this misconception that you learn to drive in one way, then you change after you pass. No, if you learn properly, you don't need to change because you learn properly in the first place. Mirrors, signal, brake, clutch. The view to the left is poor, so I'm going to select first gear. Right is quite busy. Ahead's free. Left is jammed up by buses, so after this van and car, I can go. But I'm still checking. That final check is so vital. You must check as you emerge. I'm going to hold back here because this van's going and the car's coming up, down. Clutch, brake, 1, roll, creep, roll, gas, clutch, mirrors, go. Off you go. Good. That's how it must be, what we call joined up driving. It'd be good if another car came down the hill now, but no, it won't. But if it did, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't pull in here and give away. Imagine there's a car here. No, I won't do that because there's a car behind. Get observations, that's what it's all about. Hold back, go. You wouldn't just stop, dead stop, handbrake. I was doing that on those back roads because they're very steep, and it's sometimes safer to apply the handbrake to transfer your feet off the pedals rather than hold the brake down and just do it all with the brake on. Bad driving, bad practice. I've shown you that in other videos. Roundabout right, mirrors, signal. The view's quite open, so I'll select second. Looking, can I go? Yeah, but notice what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go in 1 because that car could have done a U-turn, and I look left. That's also why people can fail for junctions observation. And I say, well, no one on the left should come out. No, they shouldn't, but they do. Junctions observation. This is what it's all about. I've got a light here, so I'll go straight on. Brake, clutch, leave the gear. Could be 2 if the light changes now. Could be 1. I'll wait. Second, off I go. You see, great example. How did I make that happen? That wasn't chance, that wasn't luck. I made that happen. How? If you look at the top of the lights, there's a little sensor. Some people worry about that, thinking it fines you for going through a red light. It doesn't. It's a sensor that can detect when vehicles are there. So you roll up, you give the sensor time to sense you, and then it changes. If you're just getting there, stop, clutch, and now the light goes green. Oh, it's gone green. Handbrake, 1. No good. No good at all. Joined up driving. If you drive well, you rarely ever have to stop. Now, there are times, say if another bus came up here, then yes, I may have to stop. You can't avoid ever stopping. It's not wrong to stop. But if you drive well, you don't have to stop. How does that work? Because you're planning ahead. Now, mirror, brake. I'm ready to stop. Brake off, go. If something appears now, fine, I've already gone. But that's what you got to do. Joined up driving. Your driving should not be stop, go, stop, go, stop, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. I use the handbrake quite a bit at the start of this video because those hills are very steep. But notice I'm not using the handbrake now. I rarely ever use the handbrake when I drive because if you plan ahead, you don't need to. And this is the whole point. It shows you're planning ahead because you're not getting into a problem and thinking, oh, red light, I've got to stop. That's a very basic way of looking at things. If you approach the lights properly, you don't have to stop. I'm going to stop now because I'm pulling over. Brake, clutch, roll. I don't need to rush the gears. If anyone tells you this is wrong because you're coasting, it's rubbish. That is not the bad form of coaster you're looking for. I've stopped. Handbrake, neutral, off. So you see, it isn't what you think it is, and I've got other videos I'm going to make on this soon. For example, people often fail the driving test on parallel parking. So what do instructors do? They go out and work on parallel parking. Parallel parking has nothing to do with parallel parking. That isn't why you failed on it. In the same way today, junction observation, it wasn't really about the observations, was it? It was about the way I did the pedals, which allowed me to roll up and observe better. This comes from my work as a hypnotherapist. If you don't know, I also work online as a hypnotherapist, and I help people overcome the fear of driving anxiety, all that kind of thing, panic attacks on motorways and stuff like that. It isn't about what you think. Driving anxiety has nothing to do with driving. And often with driving lessons, parallel parking, the reason you failed on that is nothing to do with parallel parking. You don't work directly on the problem. If you failed your driving test on roundabouts, I can promise you, you didn't fail on the roundabouts. That wasn't what let you down. And many instructors don't get that, and they'll say, hey, what? That doesn't make sense. I failed on parking, so of course he's parking. And then you go and fail again and again because it's not your parking. Not many instructors understand this, but true masters, arch master instructors, understand that the problem isn't the problem. You don't work directly on the issue that it seems to be, because that's only what it seems to be. For example, today the junctions, what did you work on? The clutch control, the clutch brake, the method, steer, gear, peep and creep, leaving the gear, not using a handbrake too often. That's what you failed on. You didn't have all those elements in place. The junction observation is the end result of that. That's just like the symptom. It's the end result of not having those things in place. And this is why if you learn to drive in a poor way, you'll pay the price. Even if you pass your driving test, you'll pay after you passed and you crash, because you won't have these systems in place. So this is the difference with someone who teaches really well at a high level compared to just another bog standard driving instructor. Who advertises patient instructor, pass plus, friendly instructor, all that kind of stuff. If you get instructors who know what they're really doing, they'll teach you this kind of thing. So the clutch control, peep and creep, all the things that matter. When I started this video, there's a little cat there. I don't know if you can see a little black cat. Can you see if I take this off? Can you see him? That cat. He's arching up at the dog. See that? I hope you can see that. So don't get distracted by things like cats. Black cat coming up to Halloween. If you're trained well, you'll be taught not just how to do junctions, how to do roundabouts, how to parallel park. I don't teach topics, I teach skills. And the skills then allow you to do the topics easily. Check out these other videos of mine for more. Check out my website, firstdriver.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.